welcome to qualifying for MotoGP's 12th round in 2023. We're here at the Mazzano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, ready for qualifying. This is going to be a very crucial session. There's so many top riders having to go through qualifying one, including the KTM of Jack Miller and the two Yamahas going through as well. So much to look forward to, so much to focus on. Let's join TNT Sports for all of the build-up prep as well, with the session getting underway in around about 4 minutes' time. Right now, Michael Laverty is taking a look at the Yamaha bike.
Sweet bike, good chassis, usable power delivery, nice smooth engine. But the problem is KTM, Ducati and Aprilia have all developed bikes that turn using aerodynamic bodies. So the ground effect, the bulbous fairing out the side, when you're at lean angle, this bike will not turn. It doesn't have this step out on the aero body. It doesn't have the downwash ducts that the Ducati have. They have this bigger front wing, but obviously that creates more drag. They've got quite a wide front because of the inline-4 engine. Again, that creates more drag. So it's more on aerodynamics where they're going to find their upgrades. The lower-end devices as well, that's where they need to get the grip from, getting the power to the ground. So the Ducati's quite a long bike, but it turns with the aero body. And then, likewise, KTM, they've readjusted the weight distribution, cut away the fuel tank, so whenever the lower-end device kicks in, the bike really drops down. So I think it's going to require a lot of redesigning on where the weight is distributed, work on the lower-end device, marrying up those electronics to suit, but getting almost 300 horsepower to the ground. That's where the key is right now. So Yamaha's old way of working worked for such a long period, but right now it requires innovation. It requires aerodynamic experts, less drag, more downforce, more push through the wind. Will Yamaha bring enough to fight the European manufacturers in 2024? That remains to be seen.
Well, we've heard Fabio asking for more horsepower, and they did improve that this year, didn't they? But as I understand it, there will be a limit to what they can get to on the inline-4 compared to a V4. Is that right, Sylvain?
Yeah, it is right. Essentially, the V4 configuration allows for more top-end power. Now, the inline-4 has got other advantages. We've seen in the past the Yamahas and the Suzukis, actually, when they were on the grid, carrying that corner speed. But we've also seen the Suzukis with the inline-4s having a lot of top speed, the last year they were there. So, yeah, for Yamaha, they have to try and find a little bit more power. They also, I think, can do some work on the efficiency of how to use that power, getting the rear grip, getting a better aero package to try and maximize the characteristic of their bike. I mean, they're not far off. They're just missing a little bit of pace. I feel like as well with that new engine they got that year, they improved a little bit at top end, but it seems like they made the character, the DNA of that engine a little bit more aggressive and a little bit harder to find the traction.
With your experience on that last inline-4, do you think Suzuki was just able to extract a little bit more out of it than the Yamaha?
Yeah, I think the main gains for us were when we introduced the rear height device. We actually made the bike a lot more aero, and it was almost like it was free speed. We didn't expect that, and when we started to use that rear height device, we just got so much more top end, and it just came because the bike became more aero, being lower, and the position of the bike changed as well. It just lifts the wings as well. So it's all about trying, it's all about compromise, and it's all about trying to find some solutions for them.
Yeah, he was fairly happy with his race in Barcelona just last weekend. What can we expect in reality from this test? What can he expect in reality?
It's a tough one. We know Yamaha is coming with some new stuff to try, new engine, some chassis as well. So they're gonna have to do a lot of work, and Fabio's input, on testing those parts is going to be really important. We know Carl Crutchlow is doing a great job at trying all the stuff that Yamaha is bringing to the table in Japan. Lots of tests in Japan. Carl was in Aragon not a long time ago, and yeah, it's all about the riders then giving their feedback, and the main riders giving them feedback to what they like. So this test is really important because we know that the testing days now and the testing opportunities are very low for the main riders.
Yeah, very limited. As I say, we've got Q1 coming up shortly. Some big names in it as well. Aleix Espargaro, double winner in Barcelona. Fabio Quartararo, as we just mentioned. Johann Zarco we've just seen as well, who's your man, as always. We expect him to go through, don't we?
Yeah, I should think so. I think Paul Espargaro as well is a client for that qualifying. The lap times are so tight as well. It's very hard to call, actually.
Green light, and away we go for the first part of qualifying, and we've just had it announced that Takashai will not be taking any part in this qualifying session. So he did not meet the minimum time, unfortunately. So unfortunately for Takuma Takashai, he will not be in this weekend's race. But we're underway now for qualifying for the San Marino Grand Prix. Paul Espargaro, Aleix Espargaro, Fabio Quartararo, Franco Morbidelli, Stefan Bradl, Michele Pirro, Jack Miller from Johan Zarco, Fabio Di Giannantonio, Takiki Nakagami, Johan Mir, Miguel Oliveira, Augusto Fernandez, all taking part in the session. Takuma Takashai will not be taking part. He has not been allowed to, so that changes over once more. Hopefully the timing tower will adjust in a few moments. It's been stuck for the past minute and a half. Presumably it's just trying to catch up on things, so hopefully we'll see it in a second in operation. If we have to refresh the page, we'll refresh the page, but usually it just takes a while to glitch in, doesn't it? We've seen this before. That's the results from practice 2. There you go. So the timing screen's now glitched in, as you can see, and we'll see. Hard front then for most of the field with a soft rear. Jack Miller, soft front, soft rear. Same for Fabio Di Giannantonio, front and soft. So looks that they're going to take it in a little bit. There's Miguel Oliveira on the RAL bike as well, from the Portuguese rider, 28 years old, looking mega strong once more. But it is the Crypto Data RNF MotoGP bike, so the RNF team looking strong. It's on the Aprilia chassis, of course. So they're still going to have some basic delta time to try and improve on. As Paul Espargaro out there as well. It's Aleix Espargaro. He's actually taking the first time with Johan Mir behind him. Mir's backed off a little bit. So he too is not going to set the quickest lap time in this opening session as they hurtle down towards turn 7 and 8. Listening to the engine sing for Aleix Espargaro. Hard on the brakes, gets the front turned in nicely, controls the accelerator, slowly pulling the throttle back at the exit. It's a decent opening gambit time as well. We'll check in then, looking at the full first timing screens and check in with TNT.
No, Paul he's 1.5 laps.
Just missed out.
He can do that. He's just got that one lap ability, doesn't he? Anyway, we'll see. It's going to be an exciting Q1. Remember, Q2 coming up after this to decide pole position in the top 4 rows, but it's all important considering we expect turn 1 to be a melee again.
Yeah,
that is our
in both
expectation.
sprint
You can see
and
the front
future.
every time someone goes through turn 14, Caro corner there. Frankie Morbidelli just went through it, and you can just see his front hopping as he went past the right-hander into the final corner now for Frankie.
Morbidelli across the line and goes top.
Sets the benchmark at 32.2. You've got to get into the 31s. It just depends where we're going to be aiming at.
Well, look at the delta times, because you've got Fabio Quartararo, Paul Espargaro and Miguel Oliveira going a lot faster, as Quartararo does a 1:32.047 across the line as well, so they are getting it quicker. What about Paul Espargaro directly behind him? He goes second fastest. Miguel Oliveira approaching that. Oliveira jumps to the top, but lap time cancelled due to exceeding the track limit. So Oliveira was fastest, then it's immediately been taken away from him. The red sector times coming for Franco Morbidelli, first and second sector. Oh, and down has gone. What? It's Adam Pedro. No, it's Paul Espargaro. Paul Espargaro has gone down on the track. He's got back up again. The bike's been pulled out of the gravel. He's going to go. It's at turn 1 and 2. So there's no one currently in that sector. We go green now. Paul Espargaro, Michele Pirro comes across the line and goes second, 1:32.102. 55 thousandths off the pace. But yeah, Paul going down there at 1. Got the bike back up, but oh, and there goes a winglet flying off to the side of the track. Let's see how it happens. So through 1-2. Oh, he's lost it. The exit of 2. The rear just stepped out. And Pirro's had his lap time cancelled for track limits as well. Looking at the Delta times, Franco Morbidelli is looking strong as he comes across the line. Will he go faster? Yes. Morbidelli at 1:32.045 by 2,000ths of a second. Aleix Espargaro's 8th at the moment. Is he going to improve only to 4th? And Quartararo's destined for P1. Augusto Fernandez on a 1:31.947. Stefan Bradl on the HRC team as well, the wild card entry for the Honda. He goes third. Now that changes over again. Quartararo 1:31.806. Miguel Oliveira this time does a 1:31.450 and goes to the top of the board. Some really and lap time cancel for Takiki Nakagami for track limits, and lap time cancel for Michele Pirro for track limits. It's all going off now.
Slightly disappointed really after last weekend, Miguel. He expected a little bit more, but he just had issues with the front tyre. It's his biggest problem.
We saw with Maverick, didn't we? You know, led for much of the race, but wow, that front tyre was cooked.
Hey, but how outstanding was this man? Aleix Espargaro, the weekend of his career, long career, 34 years old now. He's the oldest man in MotoGP.
But
stunning weekend.
Best day of his life, he said.
Yeah.
Had his children hand the trophy over to him on the podium with the president of Catalonia.
That was pretty cool.
And it was
sprint and feature.
Just a lovely touching moment. But he said, this is one of the happiest days of my life. Again, the bumps that the bike's having to ride going through there. He's not comfortable, is he?
No, he doesn't look comfortable at all. It's the exact opposite of what we saw last weekend. But two completely different tracks.
So why can Maverick make it work around
Well,
here?
sometimes you just genuinely like a circuit for whatever reason. Most riders, I'd say it's a 50-50 split, because some people do enjoy riding around here. Just on the bigger bikes, it's not that much fun.
What I will say is Aleix's 3 wins in this championship have come at Argentina, Silverstone and Catalonia. And there's a theme there, isn't there, about the type of racetrack that it seems that will suit Aleix.
Yeah, wide open, wide, low grip, flowing circuits.
That was a decent lap from Fabio Di Gianantonio. Again, look how beautiful that bike
looks. So cool, doesn't
the
it?
The helmet ties in with it. He's got a little tricolore on the top.
Yeah, Granesi gone for a different style of bike, hasn't he?
I like the retro sort of round number plate on the front, number board.
That's great. Granesi really have done that
mandate
brilliantly.
They should.
I do like it. It's purely selfish reasons as a commentator as well.
Yeah, it does make it easier.
Michele Pirro up to 3rd place. So first shots across the bow, Neil, and actually it's this man, Miguel Oliveira, and Fabio Quartararo 1 and 2. I don't think it's going to stay the same on the second runs.
I'm expecting Pirro. I'm expecting Pirro.
Funnily enough, no one mentioned Fabio.
Oh.
And he wasn't far off again yesterday. It's so hard when earlier the top 19 are covered by less than half a second. What? You don't know, do you? It is going to be about who just nails it on one specific lap. Onto the back straight, this one. It's a straight. There's a kink in the middle, isn't there, at turn 7 that he's all run through to get towards the outside of turn 8. Diego Gubellini just sharing some advice for his charge. Fabio Quartararo as Aleix Espargaro gets ready to go again, but as it stands, he's down in 9th place.
Zarco's not looked on it this weekend at all.
Just up and down at the moment. Again, fought back well, didn't he? Involved in that turn 1 incident in Barcelona, and then gets on his bike and ends up 4th in the race. And you just never know what you're going to get from Joan.
It's one of those tracks as well. We've seen the riders now waiting. It's another one of those strange tracks where if you can follow somebody, not for any slipstream advantage, but just to have a marker, you can really help around this track. Jack needs 5 minutes to go in this session. He needs to find a lap, doesn't he? Just lost his way ever so slightly.
Yeah. He turned the bike upside down for the race on Sunday, and actually his result, however much you look at Jack Miller getting an 8th place, you're not shouting it from the rooftops, but it felt like an improved performance. It felt like there wasn't the fade that there'd been in recent rounds.
Yeah, I agree.
And he made a good start again. What about overtaking here? What about passing around the zone? It's not
really
easy, is it?
difficult. Yeah, you need, especially if you're riding against someone on a fast motorcycle like the Ducati. To beat a Ducati round here is so tough because it's really stop-start. So if you've got someone like Bagnaia who's a real late breaker, turn 1 you've a chance of doing a real block pass into turn 2. Then you go around turn 3, you can't pass through there. And there is a slight chance down to here if someone's made a mistake coming out of 3 into 4, but it's a proper dirty block pass.
And Bastianini bailed out last year of that pass, if you remember. During the race, it was, I know which side my bread's put it on.
He had a look and then thought, actually,
we're both going down if this goes wrong.
That was an Andrea Iannone moment and Dovi back in Argentina, wasn't it?
Oh, that
there,
famous
turn 8,
crash.
That's not a bad overtaking opportunity, but still, it's tight. It's a difficult one, and it's always a bit block passy. Into here, you leave the door open so you can squeeze up inside turn 10 of someone, so that's not a bad opportunity. But then if you're on a similar machinery, then you don't really pass anyone into 11.
It feels like a lot of the moves here are block passing. They're risky moves.
Really risky.
We said that. I remember the race last year with Bagnaia and Bastianini, that if you're going to have to be dirty.
Yeah, you are. We call it letting the brake off. You're going to have to let the brake off. You're going to have to sit the rider up. We've seen it already quite a lot this year in sprint races, so I think we should be on for a good sprint race.
I feel like I need to wear full leathers and a helmet to watch the sprint race, of course, coming up later on this afternoon. We will have all the build-up from 1:30 p.m. here on TNT Sports 2.
And we'll be on here at 1:45 British Summer Time on the YouTube channel with the build-up. Now, look at this sector times, because we are getting into it now with 3 minutes to go. They've all gone back out there to get their second runs in. Hard front, soft rear for everyone, bar Fabio Di Giannantonio, who was stuck with that soft front tyre compound. First sector for Oliveira, 25.685. Quartararo, 25.601. And Bradl, 25.678. So really, the fastest is Quartararo. Second sector, oh, it's close. Oliveira, 46.068. Quartararo, 46.087. So they are literally matching each other. But Quartararo has dropped to 10th in that third sector. Oliveira is still picking it up. So we'll wait to see what it's going to be like at the line. 110.975. So there's a 10th between them at the moment. Towards the line then, Fabio Quartararo goes up and stays in second, 131.678. Oliveira's dropped down by 35 thousandths of a second, so he's not going to improve at the moment. He's towing around Stefan Bradl. There is Jack Miller, and Jack Miller, 7th at the moment, ergo 17th in the race, and we've got a yellow flag sectors 3 and 4. That's going to spoil everybody's lap time. Across the line, Oliveira, still top. Bradl gets the toe. Bradl goes second, 131.560. Miller up to 4th place. As Aleix Espargaro comes across the line now, goes 4th, 131.718. Zarco's 2/10 down. Yellow is in turn 13. So what's happened there? I'm not seeing any rider down, but that is going to affect. Oh, it's Pol Espargaro again. He went down at the end of practice 2. No, hang on a minute. That's his second crash in this session alone, isn't it? Went down at turn 2. Now his second crash is at turn 13. So Pol has crashed twice in one qualifying session. And that's brought out the yellow flag. So no one's improving at the moment, but they'll all get another run in soon.
One of the fastest corners on the whole MotoGP calendar. But Fabio Quartararo now has to sit up.
To a boat, as is.
Yeah,
The
yellow
flag. And now it's like, right, compose yourself, breathe. Right, you've 2 corners to build up now and work on your exit coming out of the last corner.
Aleix Espargaro and Jack Miller are heading towards that part of the racetrack now. Is the yellow flag gone?
Yellows are in.
Might have. So Fabio Quartararo extremely unlucky, because who knows, has he got enough tyre left? So easy, especially on a grippy track
Augusto
like this.
Fernandez.
That squeeze from Augusto Fernandez. Jack Miller's really motoring on here in this second part of the racetrack, but easy to use that soft tyre up more than you'd want to on a...
Yeah, because these times now are coming through thick and fast. As you can see, red sector times across the board. Here comes Jack Miller. He goes into 4th position. Augusto Fernandez goes 4th. Aleix Espargaro's looking quick here as well across the line. Aprilia found their rhythm. It's a 131.429 for Aleix Espargaro. Jan Zarco is down a little bit too on the deltas, but Quartararo set the fastest first sector and second sector. Pirro, fastest first sector, not improving in the seconds. Zarco Zarco, fastest still in Sector 2. Is he going to improve anywhere as he comes towards the line? Johan Zarco opens up the throttle. Morbidelli goes 8th. Zarco goes across the line and goes into 4th place. That pushes Quartararo down. And Miller, 15th and 17th for them at the moment. Morbidelli's 19th on the field. Pirro is down a couple of tenths as well. It's the two Aprilias, Factory Aprilia from then the Crypto Data R&F team, who are going through at the moment. The checker flag's out now. And the sector times are still there. Sector times still there for Miguel Oliveira, and Fabio Quartararo, he's gone yellow in the 3rd sector, so he is down on his bests as he comes out of the last corner. Will he do an improvement? He takes the checkered flags, and Quartararo does not go through to qualifying. Number 2, 38 thousandths off the pace of Malaysia Spargo. The top 3 separated by that, 38 thousandths. And I don't think Oliveira's dropped off 3rd sector. Nobody else is improving. No one else is doing great lap times, as you can see on the timer here. No one's setting it red. Oliveira might find something though in the last sector. He's only 62 thousandths down across the line. Will he deny Aleix Espargaro's chance to be the top of Aprilia? Yes, he does. It's a 1:31.272 for Miguel Oliveira. A tenth and a half faster than what we were expecting. And everybody else trundles across the line, takes the flag, but that is it. Nobody else can improve or will improve. They've all backed off too much. Di Gianantonio might. Fabio Di Gianantonio still up a little bit. Might put him into 9th position ahead of Franco Morbidelli if he can keep that pace up. 4.5 tenths down at the moment. Cross the line, Di Gianantonio goes 11th, so it doesn't improve that much either. And that's it. That is it. Everyone takes the checkered flag. The first part of qualifying goes to Miguel Oliveira and Aleix Espargaro. They're the two to progress, the two that needed to progress. Quartararo will start 13th. Pirro will start 14th. Stefan Bradl will start in 15th place. Johan Zarco is 16th. Augusto Fernandez 17th. Jack Miller is 18th. Franco Morbidelli 19th. Takiki Nakagami is 20th. Fabio Di Gianantonio 21st. Johan Mir 22nd. And Pol Espargaro takes it in 23rd position on the grid. A mighty qualifying 1. And Q2 is going to be coming up next. And nobody has an idea what is going to happen. But Miller being eliminated was a shocker. This is Johan Zarco on turn 12. Did the front dip away? Not too sure here. Oh, he's back, rolled out the lap time. Too much on the bumps through the corner and it dragged him off wide. So that's why Zarco starts so far down. The sprint race is going to be fun. So many main riders so far down in the back of the field. Everyone surprised then. Miguel Oliveira and Aleix Espargaro going through.
Yeah, no doubt Aleix Espargaro breathing a sigh of relief. Not particularly his circuit and still suffering after that crash yesterday. But some big names missing out as well. And Fabio Quartararo, Michael, just missing out on going through.
You feel for Fabio. Things just will not go his way at the moment. It's a track he's been fast at. I remember him battling for the victory around here in 2019 with Marc Marquez, won his world title here. And when things are against you, it's just, as Gav said, it's literally a reaction time. So he put the lap together, but it was not enough to best the Aprilias today. So the Yamaha's working okay-ish, but still not able to extract. It's those small margins when you put the fresh soft tyres in the bike, and just to get a little bit more grip, a bit more turn, and a bit more fire off the corner. And it's just not quite there. So, yeah, heartbreak again for Fabio to be 13th on the grid this weekend.
Using the old aero again, Fabio, it seems.
Yeah, obviously they've tried the heavier aero around here. It is a little bit stop and start, so that surprises me. But Yamaha, I think, trying to opt for their old school tactic of a good chassis, a nice usable engine, and make it flow around the racetracks and not going aero heavy here, but obviously not paying off.
And Johan Zarco as well, who we mentioned just before this session, he'll be disappointed not to go through there. Yeah,
well, that's how it works. One small mistake and that's it, your lap is gone, and then you catch a yellow flag, and he wasn't able to do it. So yeah, Johan will be disappointed with that, obviously, because the Ducati works really well around here, and he's got potential, but starting that far now, it's going to be a big ask. We know as well here, turn 1, turn 2, you lose a lot of time in the first lap at the start.
How worried are you about Jack Miller at the moment?
It is cause for concern, and obviously more so for Jack than any of us. We can speculate on what's going on, but you still have to remember it is his first year with KTM, and yes, he started strong, but perhaps now the push to improve the package has maybe led them down a slightly wrong path the last few races. But Jack's a quality rider. He'll rebound. 18th in the grid makes it really difficult for him to come through tomorrow or this afternoon for the sprint. So he's got work to do, but yeah, I'm not concerned. Going into the long-haul races, Jack will turn this around for sure.
Well, Aleix Espargaro has bounced back from that crash. He goes through, and he said after last weekend he felt like a superhero. Here's what he had to say ahead of this weekend.
It was a fairy tale. Actually, it was not the best weekend of my career. It was the best weekend of my life. It was amazing. A lot of emotions through all weekend, you know, because I felt extremely good already on Friday. So I really enjoy every single lap in Barcelona. I enjoy also the party with my team, with my family. It was an unforgettable day.
The fact that not just you, but Maverick was on the podium both days, what statement do you think Aprilia have sent out to the rest of the championship with that result?
I mean, it's clear that Barcelona is a good track for us. So we've been very happy, you know, to prove that, to put both bikes on podium. Also, Miguel was quite competitive during the weekend. But anyway, I don't think that this is the real difference. It was a very good layout for us. So we have to keep proving that the Aprilia improves. And Misano is a very good place because in the past we struggled a little bit against Ducati. So let's see here how close we can be.
What are the expectations then going forward? Do you see yourself picking up wins at other circuits now and closing that gap on the championship?
I wish. I will try. You know, it's I don't want to be obsessed. You know, to try to win every weekend. This is impossible. It's very difficult. But I would like, you know, to maintain the level, to fight every single weekend in every different circuit for the top 5. This will mean that the Aprilia is more competitive, and I think we are able to do that. So let's start from Misano, which is I will say from the last part of the championship, Misano will be one of the most difficult tracks for us. So if we are able to deliver here, to be in a good to have a good performance, good.
Yeah, what a weekend it was for Aleix Espargaro in Barcelona, Sylvain. That was a career highlight, well, a life highlight, he said there. The best weekend of his life, and you can understand why.
Full house, you know, for them, they proved that the Aprilia on that Barcelona track was the best bike, the best package. And Aleix delivered, you know, both wins. It was great to see, you know, that Aprilia story unfold. They're still making inroads, and now the Aprilia is just right up there with the Ducati, and it works on every track as well. You know, we keep talking about flowing tracks, you know, Silverstone, Assen, Barcelona, but it actually worked in Austria. All that hampered them there was the starts, and here it's working again. Well, with Maverick anyway, and then the two Aprilias going through.
Well, actually, all 4 Aprilias are in this qualifying 2 session, Michael. I suppose that, yeah, the Aprilia is working everywhere. Perhaps it's Aleix that finds this circuit more difficult, his riding style, because Maverick and Raul Fernandez, they've been having a great weekend here.
Yeah, good to see. The strength in numbers is shifting towards Aprilia. Raul Fernandez has always had potential. He was the surprise package yesterday afternoon, getting the direct qualification through to Q2. But Miguel Oliveira, fast as well. I do think the bike is working well at all racetracks. The step they made seemed to happen in the summer break. They brought something back to Silverstone that gave consistency across all conditions, racetracks, stop-go tracks, flowing tracks. So I think they've unlocked a little more from their package in 2023, and I don't think they're resting just yet. They're still pushing the envelope every weekend. Yeah,
Raul, we're great to see Raul in straight into Q2. He had a crash yesterday, also had a crash in warm-up this morning. It's not how he would have wanted to start his Saturday, but it's a good step for him to be in Q2.
Yeah, he's pushing this weekend. You know, he's really up the mark, and he's really found his fit with that Aprilia bike. So it's nice to see. I think we can forget him. You know, when you are fighting like that, with being so competitive, it's okay to crash. You know, he's fine. He's taking the risk, and he's showing some pace. So good for him.
And Maverick, of course, double podium for him last weekend. And he said at the end of the weekend, I'm fast in Misano, and he's showing it.
He's looking his first Aprilia victory, and to become will be the first man to win on 3 manufacturers?
Yes.
Suzuki, Yamaha, and now Aprilia. And I think he can do it here this weekend. He looks so fluid with the bike around the racetrack. It just looked effortless yesterday. The lap times are coming at will. He's got good racecraft. I think he's fixed his early lap aggression, which was his Achilles heel earlier this season. So, yeah, I think you wouldn't rule out a Maverick victory here on Sunday.
There'll be a couple of riders challenging him, though, for that top spot. What about Danny Pedrosa? Can we see him on the front row, Sylvain?
Well,
You wouldn't bet against it, would you?
No, absolutely not. Danny is absolute class, you know, and he's not lost any of his speed. He's shown that in Jerez when he did that wildcard, and here he's back again, and he's prepared as well. He came here testing. He's had a few tests here to prepare that special event, and he's delivering. So great pace for Danny. I mean, yesterday he was one of the fastest guy on track, and it looked at ease as well. It looked like everything was really settled, and the bike was really planted with that new carbon chassis. So let's see how it goes. And he's not used to doing that time attack. You know, this is a really, really hard exercise, but Danny is pure class.
And he also helped Marc Marquez go straight through to Q2 yesterday. This is your second qualifying session, and let me hand you back to Cav.
Q2 gets underway, and this will be a very, very entertaining session, let me tell you right now, because there is so much on the line. Bezzecchi, Viñales, Pedrosa, Martin, Marini, Marc Marquez, Bagnaia, Alex Marquez, Binder, Ralph Fernandez, Oliveira, Aleix Espargaro. They are your challengers. And fingers crossed they are going to deliver something very fun across the next 15 minutes of running, as I just bandage up my thumb as they come into it. So, who will be the fastest? Who will take pole position? My money? Marco Bezzecchi. My outside shot? Danny Pedrosa. I know I said it. It's going to be such a crazy weekend. Let's see what TNT make of it as the riders head out there on their formation laps.
Watch me, with all these injuries, with that horror crash, I'll show you how mentally strong I am.
Luca Marini's got to pick himself up after a crash during second practice this morning, second free practice. Jorge Martin was fastest in that practice session, and we might call Jorge Martin a bit of a pole hound. Do you know how many poles he's had this year, Neil?
I'm going to say none.
None? You know how many front rows he's had this year?
I'm going to say 2.
Why do you look at my That's so unfair. He had 3, obviously he had 5 last year, 3 last races he had last year, but Jorge Martin has not had a pole position yet this season. 5 different riders had. Marco Bezzecchi's another one, surely, who's going to be in that mix today. So it's not an easy one to call, a game which we say every single session about MotoGP. Here we go then, first laps in this Q2 session here under beautiful sunshine around this Titan. Really challenging Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli. Aleix Espargaro just made it through Q1. I'm not quite sure he will have what it takes to get to those high 130s. It's going to have to be remarkably.
Yeah, remarkably.
It'll have to be around the lap record set by Bezzecchi yesterday. And I think they should manage it because the temperatures are much more in the zone than they were yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, it's perfect conditions, really. Not much wind, track temperatures up, but the right amount, not too high. Yeah, this is as good a conditions as you're going to get. I think a lot of it might come down to who's prepared to really risk that extra. You've got to trail brake deeper. You've got to
Bezzecchi's gone
get
deep.
on the throttle a little bit earlier. You've to risk a little bit more on a qualifying lap on a track like this.
And clearly Bez did as he went wide at Tramonto.
Yeah, Bezzecchi went in deep as well. Let's take a look at the sector times then. Try and work out who's going fastest as Jorge Martin being followed by Aleix Espargaro. They are so close together right now out there on the circuit. Getting a little bit ridiculous, actually, how close they actually are. Because one mistake from Martin, and that's going to be a huge accident. But this, then, is the first lap times coming through. And a chance to see who's setting the benchmark of lap times across the line. Martin, Binder, Aleix Espargaro, 1, 2, 3. Bezzecchi 5th. Alex Marquez to 3rd. Martin is still there as well. So now we're seeing the sector times and seeing exactly who's fast and who's not. But it's a good opening gambit from Brad Binder. Look at that first sector times. How much they're already improving on their second laps around. 25.5 for Brad Binder. Martin, 25.4. Aleix Espargaro, 25.7. Marco Bezzecchi, 25.6. Oliveira, 25.6 as well. 7.9 coming on the board. So they are getting there. They are finding the correct times. Bagnaia has had his lap time cancelled for track limits. Bagnaia, lap time cancelled for track limits. So they're already going to have to find some other ways around it as Viñales goes into 4th position then on their first lap times. So, this session turning into a little bit of an unusual one. Look at the sector times, they're so improving. Martin, red sectors. Aleix Spargo, red sectors. Binder, red sectors. They're all coming now into sector 4. So they are all improving. Will it be the improvement we need to see as they come out pushing hard? It's Binder from Martin, Pedrosa at the moment, that's the front row, but it's going to change again. Everyone out there, hard front, soft rear tyres. No one's going to go for the soft front. They all will save that for run number 2 across the line. Martin, 131.127. Aleix Spargo, 131.949. Binder, 131.461. Bezzecchi to the top by a tenth, 131.027. Miguel Oliveira now, half a second down across the line, not improving. Oliveira stays in 4th on a 131.635. And the first sector's already improving because we've got Jorge Martin fastest and Aleix Spargo. Luca Marini hasn't done that much, but look at Pecco Bagnaia. Third sector though, down by 85 thousandths of a second, but sectors 1 and 2 looking good. This might be good enough to put Bagnaia at least onto the front row of the grid. There's just a little bit of time getting between them. Martin by a tenth across the line then for Bagnaia. How much time did he lose? An extra half a tenth, so it's a 0.152. Bagnaia goes third, 131.179. Viñales 6th, Luca Marini into 8th position. But Jorge Martin is setting the delta times light. Red sectors 1, 2 and 3. Aleix Spargo has backed out a bit. Martin is up by 2.5 tenths of a second. Now in the third sector, it's by 83 thousandths of a second. Can he get ahead of Marco Bezzecchi at his home soil? This is going to be very interesting as they come out of the last corner. Martin pulls the throttle back, controls the accelerator, comes across the line here at Misano. Is it faster? Yes, it's a 130.832. Aleix Spargo goes 5th, 131.469. Alex Marquez does a 131.868, goes 8th. A second off, but Martin to the top as they come in then to complete the first runs. It's Martin, Bezzecchi, Bagnaia, Binder, Aleix Spargo, Miguel Oliveira, Maverick Viñales, Alex Marquez, Luca Marini, Danny Pedrosa, Raul Fernandez and Marc Marquez down in 12th position. Quite an interesting opening gambit here from Q2. Let's turn it back to TNT.
Jorge Martin, about the belief and how it seems to be building in Martin, second in the championship, 50 points down on Bagnaia. I feel like he's really built into this season. You know, there's a part of the year, those flyaway races at the start where he wasn't quite there. Assen in Silverstone just not quite on it. But I don't know, there's a consistency in performance that hasn't been there. He has only not scored in sprint and main races twice this year, and that was Portimao and the USA. The only time he's not scored a point.
And that's been his problem in the past, certainly as a MotoGP rider. He has been inconsistent. Too many unforced errors from what would appear nowhere. Look at that. That's a man who's actually not moving too bad. Yeah, very impressive with Jorge Martin. What's impressed me, on his off weekends, he's pulled out a 5th or a 6th place.
Whereas in the past, you feel that he might have been taking the bike about the gravel, yeah.
But this weekend's huge. If he wants to win the championship, he has to try to take advantage of his main opponent, Francesco Bagnaia, being injured. You have to force him into a mistake, Bagnaia.
Looks on it this weekend, somewhere where it hasn't worked for him necessarily in the past. I think he's only had one podium in his whole career here, and that was back in the Moto3 days. Daniele Romagnoli offering a few words to Jorge Martin as if he put his arms up there to say, well, I can't do much more, I've just set an all-time lap record around here.
And he'll know now. This is the information you get as a rider. He'll know all the corners on that fastest lap that he made mistakes, all the corners where the bike didn't move at all, so I can push a little bit harder. And it's strange how it works. You are like a computer. It's all a subconscious feel and understanding. He'll now think, I need to brake a little bit later into turn 1. Don't rush turn 2 quite as much. And it's all there. So you go out now on your, basically, you're scrubbing your tyres in on that first lap, on your out lap, and then you come out of that last corner, and then you go, and you go into full attack mode. Full concentration, you're full of adrenaline. It's a beautiful feeling. And you just know when you've got it right.
Marc Marquez, as it stands, down in 12th. 132.2. You feel like that wasn't a lap of risk for Marc Marquez. He's almost saying the way he's riding at the moment is, yeah, I'm willing to have one lap, maybe two of risk over a race weekend, and the rest of it I'm just going to manage.
Yeah, you feel like that's a lap. Mark's done a lap on his own, and now he'll be on a wheel, and he'll override. He'll ride over what he thinks is the limit, but he'll be prepared to do that to try and secure a good qualifying position.
Stern faces down at Ducati, but we all smiles if things ended the same way in 5 minutes' time, because it's Ducati 1, 2, 3. We are an hour and a half down from their home of Borgo Panigale, just about on the end of the motorway, the A14 from Bologna down to the coast here. This is their territory, and they want to win. They expect to win here.
Can Bagnaia do it
some laps
third?
on this place.
Especially the VR46 crew.
Yeah, they test here a lot on their Ducati road bikes. They're not allowed to obviously ride the Grand Prix bike, but it's definitely an advantage being able to know literally every bump of the circuit.
And have the conditions to be able to do it for much of the year.
I still think this man's going to put it on pole. You want to see what the limit looks like? The bike, then the front and the rear moving. It was just yawing. Very impressive.
Yeah, and now they're on their lap times, so let's take a look at the sectors to see if anybody's going to be improving as much as we expect. Oh, and Bezzecchi again, he's run wide at turn 1. So lap time cancelled for the shortcut, but Bezzecchi again running it deep. Bagnaia's 3/10 down, Binder is a 10th down, but Jorge Martin a 25.418, fastest of all in that first sector. By no means is he giving up this early. Pedrosa, Raul Fernandez and Marc Marquez are improving on their lap times. So they've still got Delta to find. Look at Martin's second sector time of 45.670. This is really powerful stuff. Is it a chance we could see a 130.6 at Mazzano? That would be incredible. We're not seeing how much he's up by 21 thousandths. Okay, so it's going to be a low 130.8, maybe a 130.7 on the board, which is a disappointment because I'd love a 130.6 on the timers. But I don't think we're going to... Oh, we might get that actually because Martin's just 2.5 tenths up. Bagnaia's had his lap time cancelled for track limits. So Bagnaia has lost out on his first lap times for these track limits. Here comes Binder, and lap time cancelled for Bezzecchi. We knew that. Here comes Binder. Here he goes fourth. Martin across the line. It's a 130.390. My goodness me! The Prima boys know that, shaking their wrists. Hot or not for Jorge Martin. That is without a doubt the fastest lap we've ever seen at this circuit. He has out-qualified Pedrosa in second by 0.6 of a second. That is an outstanding lap time from Jorge Martin. I cannot progress to you how much that is a step above. Pedrosa isn't even in the 1 minute 30s. He hasn't even got below it. It's a 131.023 for Danny Pedrosa. Jorge Martin is a 133.09. He is 0.6 faster. I have never seen that before. Martin has completely rewritten the record book. That is amazing. Bagnaia is going to try and go with him. 16 thousandths of a second between them at the moment. But he's dropped 2 tenths in that third sector. You can see those in yellow are improving on their lap times. They will still find the pace as they come through. Can Bagnaia get within the 1 minute 30s for that Ducati? He's 2 tenths down at the moment. Across the line to 139.93. Still not good enough. Martin is still 6 tenths ahead. Binder goes 6th. Vinales goes 7th. Here comes Marco Bezzecchi. Can he get any closer? Across the line, it's a 137.96. It's still 4 tenths down. And Martin has taken a shortcut at turn 1. So that's taken it. Look at that. The new lap record just below me here on the timing screen. Absolutely insane. 39 seconds left. Delta times taking a look. Nobody else is improving. We've got a few yellows for Bagnaia, for Binder and Vinales, but that's it. 23 thousandths of a second for Bagnaia at the moment. What's second sector? Bagnaia is fastest in the second sector. He's faster. How is that possible? And by a tenth of a second, are we about to see a possibility of a 129 at this track? That's never ever been done before. Not on this layout or the old layout. This is unbelievable qualifying techniques. 300 kilometers an hour. What's Bagnaia's second sector time? Binder's down, checker flags out. Bagnaia is down in the third sector by 87 thousandths, but he still might take it. This is without a doubt the best qualifying we've seen all season long. There's so much more on the line. There's so much more adrenaline on the line. Bagnaia coming back from injury. Can he take an unlikely pole position 7 days on from getting run over across the line? And he doesn't do it. He's 4 tenths down. 1:38.26. Time not position. Binder stays 7th. Vinales goes 4th. Marco Bezzecchi is 2 tenths down at the moment. He's coming across the line and does a 1:37.87. So he's 0.397 off the pace. So it's effectively 4 tenths off. Everyone else taking the checker flag. Marc Marquez looking quite quick. 7 tenths off the pace though. But he's following Miguel Oliveira. I don't think anyone's going to do it. Ralph Fernandez 12th, Marc Marquez 9th, Miguel Oliveira 10th, and that's the game. A 1:30.390 for Jorge Martin on the Prima Pramac Ducati Racing. A new all-time lap record by 4.5 tenths. Bezzecchi said it yesterday of a 1:38.46. Martin's done it today. A 1:33.90, the fastest ever lap around Mazzano on a Premier Class bike. Wow! You just got to admit that is gorgeous. What a time! Martin, Bezzecchi, Bagnaia, 1, 2, 3. I have never seen that before. That is outstanding. And Bezzecchi broke the track limit as well. He broke the previous record that he set yesterday. But it's Martin who has knocked it out of the park. It's a Ducati 1-2-3, and it is a Prima Pramac, a Mooney VR46, and a Ducati factory Lenovo team that have the front rows for both the sprint and the feature. I'm trying to have a look on board for the Greneshis. But Alex Marquez down in 11th place. Wow. Marc Marquez lines up alongside Bagnaia. Just a little bit of practice starts. Bagnaia going to watch Marc get off the line. And then Jorge Martin comes alongside him. And everyone is looking, going to Jorge Martin. How did you do that? There's Bezzecchi. There's our 1-2-3 on the grid. In 1-2-3 formations. Bagnaia gets going. That is amazing. Salva gives a round of applause to Danny and Martin. Pedrosa, 5th on the grid. Best of the KTMs. That is unbelievable. He's out-qualified both Binder and Miller by quite a margin. Danny Pedrosa, why are you not on a main bike all the time? Honest to God. That is fantastic. What a quali. Really, what a quali. There is so much to look forward to now for the sprint race. Let's check in with BT and TNT Sports.
That's what we need to be doing. Yeah. Yeah. How was that possible?
4 tenths quicker than anybody else. Remarkable. Marco Bezzecchi back down pit lane as is Pecco Bagnaia.
They've been pretty much the fastest men this weekend, Martin and Bez.
Yeah. They'll give Bagnaia a run for his money tomorrow. And for them,
well, in the
it's
sprint
about
today.
The championship. And of course,
I just feel like in the sprint, if Jorge Martin he's normally good at starts. If he can get a good start, I'd feel like he's more of a scrapper than Bez.
Especially when it's against your pal. Rita, the PR officer, Rita Simonini from the team. High fives with Jorge Martin. let's not forget where Bagnaya's come from this week, Neil. 6 days ago in the hospital, having every scan under the sun to check there's nothing broken because nobody believed it.
I was just going to say he had so many scans because it was hard to believe that there was no fractures. I think there was some evidence of old fractures there.
That's what they found.
Yeah.
They said they found one. That must have been an old one. Ridiculous. And Marco Bezzecchi, who is going to suffer himself as well. That's the only thing going against Bez, isn't it? His left hand.
Yeah, look at him as well.
Going into the race, you've got to say Jorge Martin's your favourite.
Yeah, absolutely. It's his chance to try and put the pressure on Francesco Bagnaia. If he can win today, if he can win tomorrow, that lead comes down, and then we go to an all-new circuit. No one's got any reference at all. Really does give you a chance.
Natalie, that Barcelona incident may well have just lit up this championship challenge. And now with Jorge Martin going on pole for the first time this year, we're going to have a great sprint later.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Gab. Could just be a little twist in this championship, maybe. What a performance from Jorge Martin there. We've seen the record broken 4 times just this weekend, but 1:30.39 from Jorge Martin. How on earth did he do that?
That's a lap time destruction. Around here, you know, it's a tight track, it's short, 1 minute 30, and that's a big difference. So Martin was really, really on the money. We saw it. I mean, we were holding our breath every time he was on the screen. Just the risk he was taking with the front. It's a brilliant lap time. I mean, 1:30.3. The gap as well that he's got to second, big difference. I mean, I thought he took a shortcut and they're going to delete his lap time for a bit. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he's almost 4/10 quicker than everybody else, Michael. Where do you think he finds it?
Honestly, I really don't know, because this track, we've seen the margin of 9/10 cover the whole field, apart from Takahashi this weekend. To edge the rest of the guys by almost half a second, it beggars belief how he's managed to achieve it. Yes, he had Danny Pedrosa up ahead, a little bit of a carrot to chase, so he had him as a marker, but Sylvain just said about the wind, so it's blowing slightly this way, and when you go through turn 11, Curvone, turn 12, 13, it's actually keeping you on the track a little bit, and those are the parts where, like a small regular like Jorge, hangs off the inside, opened the gas, and he just took a slight advantage over the rest of the field. But sensational to have that much in your pocket over the best riders in the world on similar machinery across the front row of the grid, so just shows the man made the difference today.
Does it put him as the favourite for the sprint and for the longer race, Sylvain?
Yeah, because he was already kind of favourite because of his race freedom. Super quick throughout the weekend, and yesterday with the medium tyre as well, the medium rear. So yeah, he's looking good with lower grip. He's looking good with the pace, and I think he's just got that air about him, the way he rides and the way his body language. You know, he can smell blood. He's reduced that gap in the championship, and now, you know, there's still a lot of points available, and so coming to form now is really important for Jorge Martin. So yeah, I think we've got a big fight for the race. I cannot wait for the race, actually, but we've got also a fight for the championship.
Yeah, because he's next to his 2 rivals who, I suppose Jorge Martin will smell a weakness, because the pair of them are not 100% fully fit, but Pecco Bagnaia, credit to him, gave it a good go there, but just had a moment, didn't he, on his last lap?
Yeah, obviously for him, he'll be happy tonight. Front row of the grid is all he could really ask for, coming in with the type of injuries he has following the Catalunya crash. And likewise, you mentioned Bezzecchi, so the walking wounded on the front row. But you got to be impressed with Pecco Bagnaia to battle through the pain barrier, to be able to throw the Ducati about. We know he's fantastic around here. He's done more miles around this racetrack than any other because he's a local boy, and they use this facility for their practice tracks before they're riding on their V4 Panigales. But when he's on his Desmond Sedici round here, usually he's unbeatable. This weekend, because he's carrying the injury, I think he is beatable. And I think Jorge Martin smells blood in the water, and he's prepared to capitalise championship-wise.
Yeah, he said to me yesterday that he was in an awful lot of pain. He will be happy with front row, no doubt. Let's hear how he's feeling. Pecco is speaking to Jack Appleyard.
Pecco, huge congratulations. Just 6 days on from the crash in Barcelona. You were emotional yesterday after putting it on the front row. How do you feel now?
I'm very happy. Very happy to be in the front row. Wasn't easy because the lap times we were making are incredible, I think. I don't know what Jorge did today. For sure it's something incredible. We had to check better, because if in the race we'll do the same, for sure will not be easy, but we will see. First of all, I want to say that I'm very happy and pleased to be in the front row, because considering the pain and where we were 5-6 days ago, we are just to be happy.
Pecco, congratulations. Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
A great effort from Pecco Bagnaia there, but even he is scratching his head wondering where Jorge Martin was able to pull that lap from. Pecco knows this track like the back of his hand. This is their playground, but Jorge Martin was able to beat him.
Yeah, Martin made the difference for me in the last sector. You know, through turn 15, turn 16, especially 15, we saw him on the images. It just looks like he was going to crash. And turn 15 is a spot where we see a lot of crashes. We saw Aleix yesterday. It's very easy to lose the front there. So taking the risks, Martin, but obviously controlled and making it pay. For Pecco, though, it's a great result. This, I mean. You know, after the race in Barcelona, when we saw that accident, there was absolutely no chance that we were thinking he could race here. We didn't think he could even get on the bike. We thought, well, that would be a big injury. So for him, being on the front row is a big result.
You put Jorge Martinez as a favourite, but what about Marco Bezzecchi or somebody else like Pecco? Because, like I say, they train here a lot. They know this track inside out. Yes, Marco Bezzecchi has a little injury as well, but what can they do in the race?
Honestly, Bezzecchi, I think he loves this place, and he's carrying the left-hand injury, which it'll wear him down in the feature race. Maybe this afternoon in the sprint he might be able to grit his teeth a little more, but when you're carrying a little bit of an injury, it just puts you on the back foot ever so slightly. And when you've got Jorge Martin in attacking form, it will be tough to topple him, especially this afternoon. But yeah, you never rule out an Italian at home, because they do rise to the occasion. The home fans will be willing them on, and the Ducatis work around here, especially over race distance.
Yeah, how much do you think that track advantage will help, like Pecco and Bezzecchi today?
It will help them. You know, they do a lot of laps here. This is one of the tracks they use with the road bikes. Obviously, they're based right next door, so they have an immense track knowledge. And when you have track knowledge, you got an advantage. You got an edge. You understand where you can attack, where you can't attack. You understand the level of grip, the bumps. You know all the traps where potentially you could make a mistake, or your opponents could make a mistake. So it is a bit an advantage. We'll see. About the injury, I do feel like Bezzecchi is going to suffer a lot. Looks like his hand is really, really stiff, and we've not heard him moan too much, but I think he's in real pain, and so is Bagnaia. So it's going to be a tough race for him. Very physical track here.
Well, let's hear what Marco's had to say. He's in Parc Fermé with Jack.
Marco, congratulations onto the front row for your home Grand Prix. Can you believe that it's only second place, though, given the lap time that Jorge was able to pull out?
Well, Jorge today was very fast, so congratulations to him. But for my side, I'm very happy, because it was not easy for me to make again a good lap time. The pain is coming more and more, so it was difficult, but also was very important. So I'm very happy for the work we have done until now. Now for the sprint, for sure will be more hard, but I will try my best.
Well done. Good luck this afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, you could slightly see the bandage there on his left hand. There you can see it. He just said before the weekend he was having like physio on it 2 or 3 times a day just to be right. How is that injury, do you think, going to affect him?
Unfortunately, an injury like that compounds throughout the weekend, so he needs to try and do as much therapy to try and keep the blood flow, keep it mobile, stop it from getting stiffer. I do think it's going to be tough, though. You can sense an air of resignation in his voice, that because of the pain he won't be able to fight for the victory even this afternoon in the sprint. But I do always say adrenaline is the most powerful drug in the world. It allows you to push through the pain barrier. So I wouldn't rule him out yet, but he definitely sounds a little bit flatter than the normal Marco Bezzecchi. He's always upbeat and expects a fight for victory.
Is that the vibe you get as well, Sylvain?
100%, yes. And I think it's nice to see these guys. I mean, what a couple of gladiators, you know. You see them, you see that massive crash from Pecco just not even a week ago. And the lad is fighting for his championship, fighting in front of his public. It's absolutely brilliant. And Bezzecchi, you can tell they've not really revealed the extent of his injury. He's just saying, "Oh, I've got a bit of an injury." I think he's got a proper injury there. You could see from yesterday, you know, the way he holds his hand and his wrist is no good. So this is a proper injury he's having to deal with. A lot of bravery, but like Michael said, adrenaline, it just works miracles. So he will be fighting, they will be fighting. These 3 guys, it is the championship at stake, and it's important for them to to fight every single lap. So I can't wait for the sprint.
Yeah, all 3 of them fighting for the title, and every point counts. But so far this weekend, it's advantage Jorge Martin. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Jorge, huge congratulations. Now the fastest ever man around Misano. Can you believe what you've just done? Is that the best lap of your life?
No, it wasn't for sure. It was a great lap, a great weekend overall. I've been super competitive, during all the practices with the medium rear in terms of pace, and yeah, I was a bit worried about today because with the soft I wasn't feeling really good. But then, I did all in on that lap behind the Danny. I braked super late in some corners. I was a bit wide in corner 8 actually, but I took a lot of risk to make this pole position, and I'm so proud of my team and also myself to being back in this position.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What a position to be in as well. Numero uno here at the Italian Grand Prix of San Marino here at Misano World Circuit. Okay, we'll be back then for the Tissot Sprint. The link is in the YouTube channel as well, and it will automatically be on Twitch if you're watching there as well. Next up, we're going to have the Moto E, and I do implore you all to watch because it's a World Championship decider. There are 2 races left. Today, we will wrap up a championship, and Matteo Cassidy has a chance to become world champion in the first race coming up in around about 20 minutes time. So join us for all of that. But first pole of the year to Jorge Martin. He out-qualifies the field by miles. Join us later for the Tissot Sprint here at San Marino. Bye-bye.